Hello traders, and welcome to Trading the Trend. I am Dennis, and this is my weekly look back at my top strong week trades and see how they're doing. Right now I'm looking at the strong week rankings for the week, and as you can see, the CAD has rushed all the way to the top position. It had gotten very strong there at the end of the week. I'm guessing this has something to do with oil and what's happening in Texas with the disruption of the oil flow because of the hurricane. So I don't know if this is going to be long term or not, but we'll see how it goes. New Zealand continues to bring up the rear. The pound caught a little bit of life throughout the week, so it's not nearly as weak as it's been. As a matter of fact, the entire 2 through 7 are really bunched up here tight. So the real weakness is in the New Zealand, and the only real strength at this point is in the CAD. Now let's look at some of our top trades, and we'll start with long-term top strong week trade for the year, and that is Euro US dollar. This thing has marched up something like 1,500 pips at 1,553 pips year to date. I talked about this trade on a different thread on this date, and since then it has moved up 672 pips. And you can see we hit a high on Tuesday. We're pulling back, so I'll be watching for this pullback to end, and we'll be looking to get long in this one as a long-term trade. Now we'll look at some of our current top strong week trades. The most recent one is New Zealand Canadian dollar. So let's find that one. Okay. Now we had the two big moves in the Canadian dollar on Thursday and Friday, and that's what gave us this trade entry here. So this will be the entry point for tracking purposes. I know it can be a little scary jumping into a trade after two big down candles, but these things continue to work out for us. So, you know, maybe you get a little bit of a pullback before it starts heading lower. You'll just have to judge by your trading plan and your trading risk on how much you're willing to risk here if this thing were to pull back before it heads lower. But I will definitely be looking for this thing continuing its trend down. The next one I'm going to look at is the New Zealand yen. And you're going to see New Zealand is going to be on a lot of these trades. Okay, New Zealand. This thing's been kind of back and forth. This was our entry point. It pulled back on us. Then we headed down. Then it pulled back again. And we had this... we hit a high of 121 pips on this big reversal candle. But then prices headed back down again. So maybe we'll still see this thing head lower from here. The only thing that worries me is that the yen has a habit of going from strong to weak and back and forth. So this thing could kind of a coin toss where this thing goes from here. Okay, next one I want to look at is the Euro New Zealand. And this has been our gravy train here as of late. And there we go. This was our entry point here back on the 9th of August, and on Friday it hit a high of 662 pips. We got a little bit of a pullback, so we'll have to see after another pullback if we continue to move higher. But I see no reason why this thing should not continue to move higher until we see some central bank intervention. And then the last one I want to look at is the euro pound. And now this one's had a pretty good pullback. We hit our high on Tuesday. We were up 578 pips, and now then we get a bit of a pullback. So we'll see where this ends. But as you can see, this thing has been in a long-term uptrend since April. No real reason to think that this isn't just a typical pullback, kind of like what we had there. So we'll wait for this to play out and look for this thing to move higher. And that's what I have for you as far as my strong week trades. Hopefully I'll catch everyone on my thread, and we'll look for some more trades. Talk to y'all later.